You suck at Modern Warfare. You saw a video that said 5 tips to be better at Modern Warfare, and you clicked on it. And that is the best decision you've ever made, because these 5 tips will make you a god at Call of Duty. Are you ready? I think so. Let's go. The first one, learn the maps. Now, obviously, at first, even for me, you're probably going to go negative. You're probably going to suck. And that's because there's way too many angles in this game, especially on certain maps. It's not going to go well for you at the beginning. And that's kind of how it's going to be. But hopefully by now, if you've been playing since launch, you've learned, for the most part, the maps. And you know the major angles, the places people like to sit at. But the bottom line is that you're not going to be good until you know the maps by heart, until you know the maps really well. So I honestly recommend, if you have a team that you roll with every day, I recommend going into a custom game, learning the callouts, testing out angles, or just, going into pubs, because getting beat is the best way to learn. You'll be learning new angles every day. The second one is that you don't want to be rushing, obviously. This game is very, how do you put it? This game is very camper friendly. That's really the only play style that works. And it's not necessarily camping all the time, like straight up camping in the corner. It's more like taking a position, taking a area, and just basically staying there the entire match, depending on the game mode. Which is why I like to play search, because that's the place where that happens the least. But you're going to want to get as much information as you possibly can before you start going out into places. You're going to want to be fake peeking, especially if you put high alert on. You can turn to the side a little bit, back up around a corner quickly, go back. If it flashes yellow, there's someone out there looking at you. That's a pretty decent way to get information. But you want to have as much information as you can possibly get before you just start running out there. In other games like Black Ops 4, it was possible to just run around, wait till you get shot at, and then react to it. But this game, the time to kill is so fast that you can't really do that. So I highly recommend taking it slow, listening to the callouts that the NPCs give out, which is quite often quite useful. That's another thing. You don't even have to use high alert. You can just peek a corner. If your character says, "Call out!" and there's someone there. The third tip is you don't want to be moving around the map too much. If you're playing TDM or Domination especially, Domination is a big one. You don't want to be running around trying to get kills and just playing too aggressive. It's kind of like my last point. I said that a little bit. Especially in Domination, though, you want to have a point. You want to have an area around the center of the map held down that you can defend. Well. You don't ever in Domination want to go, if you hold 2 points and they hold 1 in their spawn, you never want to push that. Not even, no, you don't want to push that at all. You want to take a spot in the center on B, or maybe a little in front of B, and you want to just wait there. Try to hold down an area, not a specific little corner, but an area that is hard for them to break into. The fourth tip, strategy. You need to have a lot of strategy. In this game, gun skill is not as important as strategy, and game sense as well. You need to have a plan, especially if you're playing search, if you're playing cyber attack. You need to have a plan. You can't just play solo, have some randoms on your team, just run around, try to get kills. You need to have a strategy. You might be able to get away with that, if they're in the same boat, but this game is a lot more strategy based, especially considering that you can't come back from a lot of things. You can't recover from gunfights nearly as easily as you could in the past. You're going to want to have a plan for everything. And obviously you can't predict everything. You can't not die ever. It's like you're going to die. Things are going to happen sometimes. Even the best players in the world can't live forever. It happens. A lot of stuff will happen, especially in this game. But if you have an actual strategy then you're much better off, because if the other team, especially in Search and Destroy, if they have a strategy and you don't, you're just running around, it's not going to go well for you. So just keep in mind that gun skill, that mindset of running around with a submachine gun, spraying people's heads off, doesn't really fly anymore. You need to have a plan. You need to have a high time to kill assault rifle, maybe a 725 shotgun if you're willing to go that low. And trust me, I almost have mine gold. So, don't feel too bad about it. Everybody's doing it. And just make sure you know what you're doing before you do it. The fifth tip, which is pretty straightforward, but in my experience with the people that I've played with and the things that I see people do that just make me face palm so hard that I give myself a concussion, is that they don't listen. They don't listen to footsteps. You need to have your game sound high. You need to listen to footsteps as much as possible. It kind of is weird though right now. Sometimes you can hear footsteps a mile away. Sometimes you have no idea that they're coming. Obviously, dead silence is a thing, so you're not always going to hear footsteps. But it is extremely important, especially if you're the last alive in Search, for example. You need to be able to hear. You need to be able to know which enemy is coming first, which one you need to attack first. If you say you're in a 1v5 in Search, you need to know what to prioritize, and that's easily done by hearing their footsteps. So make sure that your volume is good enough to the point where you'll be able to hear footsteps as much as possible. So that's about it for my 5 tips how to be better at Modern Warfare. Now, I'm really hoping some things change. They definitely do have a lot that they need to work on, a lot that they need to fix. There's a lot of things that are very obvious that they need to fix, and I know they are fixing some things. Patches are coming soon. They probably won't fix everything, but they are sure to fix something. So I really like this game. I really hope that they take it seriously and actually take in what the community is saying about it, because there's a lot that could be worked on. Even if they did something as simple as making Dead Silence a perk, that would change everything. Even if they have the maps built for campers, all that kind of stuff, just making Dead Silence a perk would change a lot. That would change a lot. Because right now, having a class set up with an MP7, a knife, and double time, it just doesn't really cut it. You're probably not going to do well. So anyway, that's all I got today. Remember, you can follow my Twitter at I am Kaziak. I'm always posting new updates on there. I'm in the middle of getting a new job, so it's kind of wonky right now. My stream schedule is kind of deleted. Kind of got to figure that out again. But follow me on there for all the updates. And I will be posting every Tuesday and Saturday on here. So make sure you subscribe so you can, be up to date on everything that's going on. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Adiosage.